Hi, this is Chuck Lavazzi. Welcome to Chuck's Culture Channel. And today I'm talking with Carrie Houk. She's the Executive Artistic Director of the Tennessee Williams Festival of St. Louis. The festival celebrates its 10th anniversary in 2025 with a production of A Streetcar Named Desire, August 7 through 17 at the Grandel Theatre in Grand Center here in St. Louis. There's also a veritable cornucopia of special events on the opening weekend, including scholar panels, a walking tour of the Central West End, the neighborhood where Tennessee Williams grew up, and a Stella Shouting Contest.
You know, I'm not making this up.
For more information on festival events, check out the website twstl.org. That's twstl.org. Now let's get on that Streetcar Named Desire. Okay, Carrie Houk, Streetcar Named Desire. Big choice for the 10th anniversary of the festival. What made the festival decide to do this particular piece? Because I know from having been in it at least once, it's really a big challenge. There's a lot going on in it.
It's a big play. It's an important play. I think it's his best play. It's my favorite. The language, the characters, the human conditions of all the folk in it are just I think there's something for everyone to relate to, and the characters are just so specifically gorgeously drawn, and I don't know, I think most people never can get tired of this play. I didn't really necessarily want to repeat one of the big titles this year, and yet when we did come up to the 10th anniversary, I did want to celebrate our success with another look at this show. We last produced it in 2018 to pretty big acclaim. I mean, it was a gorgeous production directed by Tim Osell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we won quite a large number of awards for that production. And yet revisiting it this year, I've been really consciously not trying to recreate that production.
Mm-hmm. Well, I must say, to me, looking at this play now in 2025, there's an aspect of it that seems now suddenly relevant, because we are in a time when bullies are being celebrated and lionized, and Stanley is really a bully when it comes right down to it.
He's a true bully. He is a bully. He is a bully. And I think at a time in our lives right now, the concept of kindness has escaped us somehow. I mean, I hope not entirely, and I hope it doesn't continue to spiral into, this sort of hateful approach to life. I don't know how else to put it, but, I mean, deliberate cruelty to Blanche is the biggest offense. And deliberate cruelty, it's just something that must be avoided at all costs. And I think we need to be reminded of that. And also just treating each other kindly. And sometimes under stressful circumstances and not ideal circumstances, but to never forget that kindness wins. And yeah, so I do think it's an important play for now. And also recognizing, we're trying to create the world of New Orleans of, she's from Laurel, Mississippi in the story, Belle Reeve, and she's entering into a world of others. It's a world of others. It's a world that is very different from her life at Belle Reeve. And yet I think a world that we're finding Blanche maybe infiltrated in another way before she actually arrived in New Orleans, but it's like opened up another can of life to her, for her. And I think in some respects she's thrilled by it, and in some respects she's terrified by it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mhm.
the whole symbology of a streetcar named Desire, and of course, if people who know the play know that Desire is what helped ruin Blanche in the first place.
Right.
And now Desire will do it again. So there's that deep sort of uh, level of irony in it that I think maybe one of the reasons people respond to it so well.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I do think there's a sexual desire, but I also think it's again this sort of craving for kindness and to be taken care of and to feel
Yep.
like someone's on her side because she has struggled. I mean, just the life circumstances that she had to endure at Belle Reve have taken a toll on this still fairly young woman. And she enters her sister's home with a certain level of resentment that she, bore the brunt. Um, anyway, I just think Blanche, there's one line. I love this play, and there are just so many juicy lines in it where she just says, I just want to rest.
Hmm.
She is exhausted by it all.
Hmm.
She lost her family, she lost Belle Reve, she lost her job, she lost her home, she lost the town she lives in. She can't go back there. When Stanley gives her that ticket to go back to Laurel, I mean, she can't go back there. And she just wants to rest. And
Yeah.
she's been holding out hope for Shep Huntley to rescue her, but is there really a Shep Huntley? I mean, do we know? Did he really exist, or is he just a figment of her imagination? Um,
And at that point, we can't really tell.
mm-mm.
And yeah, the characters in this play are tremendously complex.
Even the guys around the poker table. I mean, there's something I'm learning in life as I try to grow day by day in every way, no matter what my age. I still try to improve myself, but you never know what's going on in somebody's life. You never know. And I think that with this beautiful cast that we've assembled, every single person on that stage has levels of interest. I mean, just these a lot of the tiny roles, they're all interesting, and there are a number of them, in plays that were written in the mid 20th century, theater wasn't as expensive to produce. So the cast is so giant sized. And there are a number of smaller roles in this play, and I have to really respect and admire and thank the really stellar actors who are filling these slots in our production because, most of them are used to playing the lead. And just for the upstairs neighbors, we have Emily Baker and Isaiah DiLorenzo, and they appear a number of times throughout the play, but they are supporting characters, and they're just the life they're bringing. And Cedric Leyba Jr. is playing Pablo, one of the poker guys, and again, I mean, he only appears maybe twice in the play, and that scene of the scenes of the poker table, you'll see when you see the show, are just so full of vibrancy and life and I don't know,
Yeah,
fun.
it's like that. If you look at the actual script, there are all these background characters. Some of them don't even have lines. You know,
Right.
and then you have smaller characters like the doctor and the nurse and the
And they're so important. And we have David Wassilek and Gwyneth Rausch, and they're so important to the play. They're just because she's going into this unknown and she's been tricked by her loving sister, but tricked, she doesn't really know where she's going. But um gosh, David played the role last time. We only have two repeats and characters or actors in this play, and it's David Wassilek and Isaiah. Um, but and then we have a conservatory student from Webster, Jeremiah King. I think he's going to be a senior this year. He is playing the young collector, and may I say, wow.
hmm.
And again, it's a 7-minute scene
Yeah.
and X a punch.
So let
The-
me ask you this. This is the second time the company's done the show. As you said, it did it in 2018. How do you think your production of it has changed from what you did in 2018, if indeed it has?
I think we're portraying the contrast of her life that she left into the world that she's coming into in a stronger way. I love the director, Pedro Almodovar from Spain. Um, love him. He might be my favorite film director. And he is influenced by Tennessee Williams in a big way. And in fact, one of his plays or one of his films, All About My Mother, actually has a production of Streetcar within the movie. And his characters, his females, he's famous for his really complex, fiery, strong, vulnerable female characters, as Tennessee Williams was. And I wanted to bring that Almodovar flavor to this production. And I think we're pretty successful in doing that. And just production design wise, the New Orleans that we have created is not literal. It's slightly anachronistic in terms of the set, and Patrick Huber has translated that so beautifully. It's bright colors and it's not realistic entirely. And the costumes, it's all just like color Almodovar palette. And the energy is more that. It's more, there's more hot blood maybe in this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's great. Sounds like a terrific production coming up. And of course, it's just one of many things you have going on.
Yeah.
Weekend. We don't have time to talk about all of them. The one that struck me, of course, was the Stella Shouting Contest.
Yeah, and we haven't done it in a long time. I mean, I think we've only done it a couple of times, but it's always fun and we always get a great turnout. We're going to do that the Friday of the first weekend right before the show at 5:30 at right outside the Grandel. And people from every walk of life show up to give it a try. Male, female, all ages. And we're going to have some of the actors there to be the character. Well, we're going to have our Stella there, but we'll also have some of the other actors there as judges, so it'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Great.
then our scholars panels are, I don't want people to forget those. And, it's a festival. There are other things. We're doing a very wonderful tribute to Streetcar on that first Sunday night that I highly recommend. It's in collaboration with Opera Theater of St. Louis because they're doing a Streetcar opera next year written by Andre Previn.
Right.
Well, we've tried to co-op with them on a couple of our events as well.
Okay. And so that's going to be a more musically oriented show, obviously, on Sunday, right?
Tribute, well, there will be an aria or two from Streetcar, and then we're doing readings from Williams that relate to A Streetcar Named Desire. It's something we do most years on the first Sunday of the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if people want to know more about the Tennessee Williams Festival of St. Louis, that URL is
twstl.org. twstl.org.
twstl.org for more information on the Tennessee Williams Festival of St. Louis. Carrie Houk, thanks for taking a little time out of your very busy day today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you at the theater.
Yeah, everybody, see you all at the theater. Bye-bye.
Bye.